Hey everyone, my name is Eric Hopkins, aka JEL. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So, Star Trek is one of those franchises that has been around for almost 60 years now, 60 years on the dot exactly, come 2026. And as of late, there's been a lot of questions surrounding Paramount and what they're going to be doing with the franchise, especially when it comes to their movie department. And obviously their television series has been doing pretty well over the last few years. So much so that I did a video recently about the fact that it didn't look like Star Trek Legacy was going to be getting a series, which would be a follow up to Star Trek Picard, that a lot of fans are really itching to see right about now, to see the follow up to that show that was done really, really well with the next generation cast that they came back for their last hurrah, so to speak. And Obviously, everybody wanted to see Seven of Nine do her captain thing over on the Enterprise G, along with Picard's son as well. But we may not be getting that in a series form. However, there is a little hope here when it comes to Star Trek, especially in regards to its movies. Variety released a really big article discussing the future of the franchise, and they went over a lot of things that's going on over at Paramount right now, especially with the fact they're really watching their budget when it comes to how they're structuring these TV shows and their movies that they got in development over there at Paramount with stuff with the Star Trek brand, and I think that makes a lot of sense in order to do that. But the article goes on to talk about what movies and stuff that is currently in development or is being shot, and we got a little bit of news about all that stuff, and apparently we've got three movies that is in some stage of development at some in some sort of way here over at Paramount here, and those included these. We got the official announcement that Michelle Yeoh has just wrapped her Star Trek Section 31 movie, which is a movie that is going to be coming to Paramount Plus. It's a streaming service only film. As you can see, the first image was also released from this movie right here. I think originally it was going to be a series, but it evolved into a straight to streaming movie, which Michelle Yeoh has even already said that if this movie is successful for Paramount and the Star Trek brand, she wants to come back and do a sequel already. So that's great. Obviously, the star is very well known for Everything Everywhere All at Once. That movie was a major hit. And of course, she's had other acting gigs that she's been well known for as well. So yeah, I'm glad to see that that is currently in development. The article also went on to discuss other movies, especially when it comes to Star Trek 4 with and Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto and all the cast there, like Zoe Saldana. That fourth chapter of the series has gone through ups and downs, especially when it comes to different directors leaving the project. We had Matt Shackman attached to the project at one point, who was the director of WandaVision, but now he's left the project of Star Trek 4 to go do the Fantastic Four reboot and remake over the Marvel Studios and the MCU. So they've had a hard time trying to figure out what they're going to do with this movie. They want to get it off the ground and give it one final chapter in the Kelvin timeline with that 2009 J.J. Abrams crew and cast. They want to do one more film, but apparently Variety revealed that Steve Yockey has been tapped to write a new draft of the script for this film, and he's known for being one of the screenwriters on The Flight Attendant, which is a series starring Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory, or Quaco, however you say her name. But anyway, so they're bringing him over to rewrite the draft of the script, a new draft of this script. So at least that's some movement on this potential movie for the fourth installment of the 2009 version. In that case, I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with that, and hopefully we'll get that sooner rather than later. But we've got a couple other movies, so it sounds like four is technically kind of the magic number right now, because apparently the idea between Star Trek Legacy, the showrunners and stuff over there talked about how they would potentially maybe even entertain the idea of doing a movie. So just like the Michelle Yeoh Section 31 film on streaming is going to be coming out, we could be getting Star Trek Legacy as a movie, because even Patrick Stewart kind of alluded to it, I believe, in a podcast session that he had where he was promoting his memoirs, Making It So, back in November of 2023. So that is definitely something that could be coming up here. There's no official announcement for that yet, but it sounds like Star Trek Legacy may have a little hope yet, even though I originally, when I did my video on it, we're talking about it's not in development at all. And maybe that's changed since the rumors come out about the movie being a thing. But it sounds like, if anything, we could be like a one-off movie instead of a full-blown series. And if that's the case, I'd be totally fine with that as well, as long as it continues that storyline, because I thought the way they ended Picard was absolutely outstanding. And of course, we've got another movie from director Toby Haynes, who I believe was involved in the Andor TV series for Star Wars. He's going to be directing a movie for the origins of Star Trek in the original timeline, which it sounds like it would be releasing in theaters or so around 2026 if that were to happen, which would be, like I said, the 60th anniversary of Star Trek in general. So and it sounds like that movie in general is probably the furthest along in development at this point. So if they were to do that, I think that would be a great thing. It's kind of crazy to think that after 60 years, we've still not gotten the origin of the Star Trek timeline and how it all kind of came to be. We've had snippets of how, the space travel and warp speed and all this sort of stuff has come together over the years. Like the Star Trek Enterprise series was kind of really early on in the timeline. But yeah, it would be really cool just to see how all this began. And Star Wars is kind of thinking of doing the same thing about doing the beginning of the Force, or the dawn of the Force, the dawn of the Jedi era in Star Wars as well. So kind of going back and telling these origins of some of these famous franchises from back in the 60s and 70s is kind of what's going on now. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see where Star Trek goes. It's got a lot of potential. But it's also one of those franchises that if it doesn't attract new audiences, it could eventually die out. And I don't want to see it do that because it's something that I've kind of grown up with my dad, especially. He really loves the franchise. So I mean, and I've learned a lot by watching it with him, and it's been a great bonding experience for me and my father that way. So I would really love to see that continue on. But if you don't have uh, new ways of catching the new audiences, and a lot of the Star Trek fans are a little bit older in age, and it just feels like it's not really grabbing the kids, so to speak. And they've got animated shows and stuff on Paramount Plus that they're trying to do that and to grab new audiences and to get them to come on board the franchise so that we can continue this into the future. So the fan base just doesn't, die out, so to speak. We want to continue the franchise moving forward. So hopefully that will happen. And like I said, I love to hear that these announcements are at least being confirmed to be in development by Variety, that these things are still coming and hopefully they're in the planning stages. But Paramount's just kind of in this place right now where they've got to be careful with their budget. They very well could even sell at some point. I'm not totally sure if that's going to happen or not, but it sounds like it's one of those things that they could be shopping it around to potential buyers and kind of be like, hey, we've got all these sort of things planned. So it'd be a great franchise to pick up for your brand if you were to purchase it. So that very well could be something that's happening as well. But if not, I'm just hopeful that this will all continue to move forward and we'll get more into this long storied franchise. And it's been very successful and a lot of people love it. So I'm hoping it does not go the way of the dodo and go extinct as well. So, what do you guys think, though? Are you guys excited for more Star Trek, or are you guys just kind of like, I'm ready for just not, I don't care about Star Trek. I really just don't want to watch about it. I don't want to see anything about it anymore. Comment down below. Let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And until my next video, guys, take care and God bless.